Creatine is one of the most popular supplements in fitness and also one of the most misleading. It's cheap, widely used, and has a mountain of research behind it. Most people add it to their stack thinking it'll help them gain muscle faster. But what if those early results are a bit misleading? A new 2025 study just gave us a clearer view of what creatine actually does and what it doesn't do. The researchers wanted to answer a straightforward question. Does creatine help you build more muscle while you're training? Or does it just look like you're gaining more muscle? They ran a clean 13-week randomized controlled trial with both men and women. One group took 5 grams of creatine monohydrate per day. The other group didn't take anything. And unlike most studies, this one included a 7-day wash-in period. No training during that week, just supplementing with creatine. That allowed the team to isolate what creatine does on its own before lifting even appears in the picture. Then both groups followed a 12-week study. Full body or resistance training, 3 sessions per week, all supervised by professionals. After 7 days and that wash-in period, the creatine group already showed a 1.1 pound gain in lean body mass. That's pretty significant, at least until they looked at where those gains came from. It wasn't muscle, it was mostly fluid concentrated in the trunk region of the body. That's the core, the lower back, and the torso area. This is where changes can easily appear to be muscle. This happened because creatine increases water content in the muscle cells. That's not a bad thing. It's actually part of how creatine helps you with strength. But it can give a misleading impression when you're tracking body composition. You see, DEXA scans, which measure lean body mass, can't differentiate between muscle growth and water weight. That's why this early gain can be a trap, especially if you're relying on the scale or scans to judge your progress. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Over the 12-week resistance training program, both groups, creatine and non-creatine, gained around 4.4 pounds of lean body mass, but there was no significant difference between them. In other words, creatine did not accelerate muscle growth compared to the lifting alone group. And this wasn't a sloppy study. It was well controlled, supervised, and included both sexes. Interestingly, the women in the creatine group showed a slightly greater increase in lean body mass, particularly in the arms and the trunk. But again, much of this is likely explained by water retention, which may be influenced by hormonal changes during a woman's menstrual cycle. And there's growing speculation that women may experience greater short-term shifts in fluid balance with creatine, but more targeted research is needed. This study also puts a few long-standing myths in perspective, like creatine builds muscle fast. Not quite true. It helps with performance, but growth still comes from progressive overload and proper nutrition. The other myth is the scale's going up, so I must be getting bigger and gaining more muscle. Not quite true either. It might just mean your muscles are holding on to more water. And the other one is, maybe if I take more creatine, it equals more gains. Not necessarily. This study used that standard 5-gram dose, and it didn't give anyone a noticeable advantage. So the key takeaway is creatine's real strength isn't in directly building more muscle during workouts. It's in setting the stage for better performance, recovery, and long-term progress. It all starts at the cellular level. Creatine is stored in your muscles as phosphocreatine, which helps regenerate ATP, the energy currency your cells rely on during high-intensity, short burst movements like heavy lifts and sprints. That means you might squeeze out another rep, lift slightly heavier, or recover a little quicker. Over time, those small performance gains can lead to more muscle, but it's indirect, and it doesn't show up overnight. If you're expecting a visual transformation after just a week on creatine, this study is a solid reminder, reminding us that's not how it works. Still, there's a reason creatine remains one of the most trusted supplements in the game. It didn't earn its reputation by accident. Since the 1990s, it's been studied more than almost any other compound in sports nutrition. And the science continues to stack up. Studies have shown benefits for sprinters, powerlifters, athletes recovering from injury, and even older adults trying to maintain muscle mass. Because of that long history and its low cost, creatine has become one of the first supplements people reach for when they're looking to make serious gains in their fitness goals. But somewhere along the way, the message shifted from this helps performance to this builds muscle fast. This study helps bring that perspective or that expectation back down to earth and puts creatine in its proper role. And to really understand that role, it helps to compare it to other popular supplements. We've got whey protein, for example. This directly supports muscle protein synthesis. It gives your body the raw materials to build new tissue. And then you got another ingredient like beta-alanine. This helps delay fatigue by buffering metabolites in the muscles, supporting endurance. Creatine, though, plays a different role. It supports energy production. It doesn't supply protein. It doesn't reduce soreness. What it does do is help you push harder during high-intensity workouts. And if you're training and your nutrition is dialed in, that extra effort can add up to real gains over time. And still, a lot of confusion surrounds how to actually use creatine. So let's clear a few common myths up. You have to load creatine. Not true. Loading can saturate your muscles faster, but a steady 5-gram daily dose works just as well over time. The other one is you need to cycle off of creatine. Nope. There's no strong evidence saying you have to stop. Long-term use in healthy individuals is considered safe. Creatine makes you bloated. It can cause water retention inside the muscles, but that's not the same thing as bloating around the stomach or under your skin. It's actually a sign that creatine is doing its job. And then once it kicks in, you'll probably notice a few changes. You'll start lifting a little heavier and you'll probably squeeze out a few more reps after a couple weeks. You'll recover faster during sets, and your weight might go up on the scale slightly, but then it'll level off. And instead of playing the guessing game on if it's working or not, track your workouts, your energy, and how your body feels day after day. That's where the real proof shows up. And over time, those small shifts can lead to major changes. Now, here's a common scenario I've ran into more than once with individuals. Picture this. A lifter starts creatine for the first time. They're new to training, but they heard that creatine can take things to the next level. After 2 weeks, they notice that they're recovering a bit faster between sets. Their lifts are smoother, more explosive, but the mirror doesn't reflect much of a change yet. They wonder if it's working, but what they don't realize is that it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Creatine doesn't deliver overnight transformation. It builds momentum in the background. It loads up the muscle cells with more energy, supports better training output, and helps the body stay primed for progress. The muscles come, but it comes from better sessions, recovery, and nutrition, not from a scoop alone. That's why this study is so important. It helps us stop chasing the quick visual payoff and start recognizing how real, lasting results are built. So let's recap. Creatine boosts lean mass early on, but it's mostly through water. It doesn't significantly enhance muscle growth during training. And not everyone responds the same, remember that. But it still supports strength, performance, and brain health. So, creatine isn't a magic bullet. Used properly, it's still one of the most effective, affordable tools in the fitness world. What's been your experience using creatine? Drop your story down below in the comments so we can learn from each other here. And if you haven't seen my video on why most people take creatine incorrectly, are you? Check it out here, right here. This is Dave. Stay healthy, stay strong, be informed, and not influenced. See you next time.